Hello, everyone. A big Texas welcome to the Texas Toast Tap Room. This is week 2, 2024, and we've got some new music to highlight. As always, some exclusives. You don't want to miss that. We're going to talk about some hot show happenings, also some happenings going on in Texas country music. All things Texas country, that's what we talk about here. And stick around because we have a huge announcement to make during this episode. This is Miss Helen along with producer Kyle. Cheers to Texas music.
So let's go.
Thanks again for joining us in the Texas Toast Tap Room, and we've got a big announcement to make.
We do indeed. We've been teasing it for a little while now, but I think it's about time we kind of drop the bomb on everybody. It's been a long time in the making, and we've always talked about wanting to do shows. So you want to tell them all about what we've got happening?
Every March, Kyle and I talk about this because right around actually St. Patrick's Day, it's kind of like our birthday anniversary. We've been together going on 3 years. So March 16th, we are going to celebrate our 3 years with the Texas Toast podcast. And a lot of our friends are going to join us.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we've got a show at set up for March 16th. Like she said, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. It also happens to kind of line up with my birthday as well. So myself will be taking the stage, kind of moderating the show along with Miss Helen. It's going to be kind of a what's the word, conglomeration of podcast and live music. But like Miss Helen said, we've got some friends joining us from the show, 2 previous guests, hopefully a couple more. But yeah, tell them who we've got joining us on stage that night.
Okay, well, first of all, Kyle Garrett, you will be on
Yeah.
stage, and we're super excited about the stuff that you're doing with music. So Kyle will be playing.
Mhm.
Also, you see my Okay Karen guests, everybody.
Oh yeah. We got Paige Lewis joining us for a portion of the show that evening. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And also Charlie McCabe.
And speaking of Charlie, we're talking about one of his songs today. So it's super exciting. He's got a new one out. We'll dig into all that like we always do. I guess that's a good note to transition. You want to talk about some music this week?
Yes, let's go and talk about some music.
Before we jump to Charlie, I wanted to talk about our friend Hayden, who we just had on the podcast this week. If you haven't listened to that one, you got to check it out. It's a whole lot of fun. He kind of gives us all this insight on the making of the record, how it's been like a much longer process than you kind of see from the outside looking in. But he dropped a new single to streaming today called "Leave the Rest Up to You," and we talked about, or Miss Helen talked about this one on the podcast. But as she said, it's an ooh la la song.
Had my notes still from that.
Yeah,
Yes.
but and it totally is. And he said Hayden, when we talked to him, said it was kind of like John Mayer influenced, and I totally hear that, which a lot of his music is that ooh la la style. So I dug that a lot. I really just like how casual the song feels. It's very like no pressure listening, which ties into the song. It's like, I'm just here chilling, listening to the song. The rest is up to you. So
Whatever you want to do, drive, dance,
yep,
whatever, we'll do it. Cool stuff.
absolutely.
I got show and tell. I forgot to have this when Hayden was here
Oh, dang.
because Nick
Yeah.
and Nikki gifted me that like a months ago, and we haven't really touched it. Now, Captain Ron did sample it, but yeah, so I had to. That's a whole story behind that. You listen to the other podcast about that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, all good. Just the last note on Hayden's song, the falsetto break in there. He's just hits that high note. It gets real like sexy and pretty, and it allows that organ to cut through. And I just thought that was a super tasty like production element. It's already so chill and relaxed, and it just took it down a level even further, and kind of like, I don't know, just wrapped everything up real nice and pretty. So good
So
stuff.
much to look forward to on that album. I mean, this is just an example.
Yeah, literally just the tip. He's getting pretty creative and pretty crazy with this, as we learned in the record or in the interview. So hang on to that one, and wait for the rest of the record. There's so much more to come. All right, and now we're gonna open the tap room doors up, blast the speakers. This one's Charlie McCabe's brand new single, just dropped today. It's called Locomotive. Brand new single from Charlie McCabe, Locomotive. Man, his voice just sounds so confident and so strong. I was actually talking to him this morning about the inspiration behind this song, because I was kind of having a hard time like figuring out what the inspiration was.
I wanted to know that. Yes.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Like I'm not gonna lie, I listened through it, and at the end, I was like, "Is this song about death? Like, what's he trying to get at here?" And he said basically what happened was he was just messing around one day. He was on like a big Tom Petty, Steve Earle kind of kick, which totally makes sense with the sound of the song. And then he was messing around and found that sig lick on the little riff on the harmonica that repeats throughout the song, and that made him think about trains. And then he's like, okay, I want to write a train song, but I can't just write a normal train song. So then he made it about the train to heaven, and that like just was such a cool like being inside his head,
Man. He's so awesome.
Yeah, very cool hearing like kind of him explaining to me where that story evolved. So very, very cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, the harmonica was awesome. The solo section, how it was real peaceful. It displayed like a bunch of different instruments, and it was just beautiful. Great stuff.
That was some of my notes was a combination of the instruments and especially that harmonica kind of to me represented the train theme and the whole like train kind of music. So
Totally.
that's a good one. Charlie McCabe, he's so good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, what you got?
Okay, so we'll keep the tap room door open for this one, and I'm excited about this one. This is a new one from Mallory Eagle. It's went out to radio, and everybody, we're gonna make friends with Carol with an E. Everybody's got to know Carol with an E. Now, let me give you some backstory on this. It's a true story. This was a neighbor of Mallory's in Oklahoma City. So for years, she wanted to write the song. So she finally got the perfect person. They sat down, wrote the song. So this is a true story. I want to know Carol with an E so bad with her pearls and her kitten heels. Her husband has the bathroom moonshine. You can't make this stuff up. He is the highway queen. So I really, really like that one. So it just went out to radio. Keep an eye out for that or ear out for that at your favorite Texas country radio station. Now we're gonna do a little throwback. Dusty Moats has a new single out. It's the called Under the Neon. And this took me so much back to the 80s and just imagining going into a different club or bar or whatever. But basically it's taken all when love goes wrong, you just take it under the neon moon. You know, you got the bar to lean on, the whiskey, just in case you're trying to get over that person. But I haven't talked to Dusty about this. He had sent it to me like way before it was released to radio. And it does have that 80s kind of sound. I think
Yeah.
his voice was very good on it. But all I could think about was, and I noticed they're coming back. I don't know if you remember, but girls that are my age and back in my day, Justin Ropers. Like we had every single colored pair there was. Then they came out with the lace ups. Justin Ropers are back. I saw it like an ad on some of my feed. But yeah, just I don't know if the Rockies will come back, but this reminds me of those days back in those days. So
Yeah.
that's brand new out to radio from Dusty Moats, Under the Neon.
And I just had to mention his, like you said, his voice sounded so pretty and nice, and it was a big change from Dusty. He's, kind of always had this rocky edge to him, like this, almost like physically, like you think of Dusty, and it's like, oh yeah, he's got this edge, and he like totally threw that out the window and took a brand new approach to this one, like you said, with that kind of classic vibe. And I really, really enjoyed listening to him singing in that style.
I did too. So I'm just going to mention a couple of things that's brewing on the charts. Cody Johnson debuted on the Texas Country Music Chart with "That's Texas." I don't know if you've taken a listen to that yet or not. It is ultimately the all-time Texas song,
Oh
and I
yeah.
mean that's saying a lot. It debuted at number 51, and Outlaws and Mustangs. Cody Jinks went from 3 to number 1, so that's number 1. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. I've previewed a lot of music. We're back at the first of the year. Everybody's back to work. So get ready for some Texas country. And I encourage everyone to not only listen to our podcast, but go back and listen if you're still trying to educate yourself. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people that they're like, what do you mean Texas country podcast? Like we are Texas country.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so much to know and there's so many artists. And I can't stress that enough at times to where it's like just get outside the box a little bit. There's more to it.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of that, deeply rooted in Texas country, our friends at More Than Music Creations are Texas country tried and true. Michael and Michaela Kelton. Michael is the drummer for Pat Green. Michaela is his lovely wife and artist galore. As you can see, if you're watching, Helen's wearing the Texas Toast signature earring set. But they're just doing great stuff. They're great people. The company was created in the name of a good cause. So if you check out morethanmusiccreations.com, you'll figure out what that's all about. But essentially what they are, if you're unfamiliar, is a musician supported musician. I guess what am I thinking to say? It's like without the musicians, it wouldn't be possible. So essentially your favorite Texas country artists are donating their used strings back to More Than Music Creations. And then Michaela's taking those strings and creating beautiful jewelry that then, like I said, kind of benefits a good cause. So you got to go check it out. You can read all about their story. You can find our stuff on there, and you can find lines dedicated to lots of different Texas country artists. So we love you guys. Thanks for supporting the show. And that's all at morethanmusiccreations.com.
I was reading the other day that it takes at least $1 million to break an artist. That's a ton of change, and it can feel overwhelming. But with social media leveling the playing field, you just need an effective strategy to release your music. Check out Release Rocket to ensure your single does not die after release day. You've already put time, effort, and tons of money into writing and recording your album. Let the guys at Release Rocket keep your new release alive.
So I was looking through, I found some interesting shows coming up. You know, we had highlighted George Lucas's new single. And
Hmm.
of course, he's been on the podcast. George Lucas goes way back. He's a phenomenal musician, but he's actually got a good schedule out. But I noticed I picked up he's got a show coming to Round Top.
Oh,
It's going to
wow.
be at the Stone Cellar in Round Top, and yeah, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, George, I've heard puts on a great show. I've somehow never seen him, but I've got to get out to a show. He's invited us actually to some shows in the past, so I feel like I definitely have to put in an effort to get out there. But he's taken this whole like old school California, like his roots vibe with these new songs. So I'm curious to see kind of how that changes his live show. It's pretty exciting.
And I also want to give I have to say a hello to I have a sweet friend that lives in Round Top, and she has Round Top Originals. And yeah, you got to check that stuff out while you're there. She's a school teacher, so go support her.
Oh yeah, very
She
cool.
teaches science. She's so scientific. She's so
Hmm.
smart about things. So yeah, Nancy, if you're listening, she supports the podcast a lot. Also, something to put on your radar is the Veterans Ranch Benefit Concert. It's going to be at Billy Bob's on February 18th, featuring Brandon Ryder. And this is a great organization. It's a nonprofit, veteran owned organization, and they use equine therapy for veterans. And so that should be a great show at a great venue, benefiting a good cause. That kind of picked up on my radar. Now, some happenings in Texas country. I found this interesting. I just saw this. Will Carter, one of my favorites, he's going to have a new single coming out January 26th, and it's going to be entitled Amarillo Rain. So
Mm.
you can help him pick the cover art. You would love this, Kyle. So he has three up on his social. And I was torn between one and three. I want to hear the song first because one
Mm.
has like a red sky and three not so much. So I'm looking at it, I'm studying, but but I know that's not fair to want to hear the song first and then
Yeah.
pick the art. That's kind of bass backwards, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a very interesting way. I mean, but that's the thing. We've got to get creative out here, like trying to, get the engagement. I love that he's trying to like allow, get creative with ways to involve his fans. That's very, very unique and interesting. Oh, and another fun thing that we can finally announce, we've been teasing our merchandise store for what feels like forever now, and we can finally officially announce that we've partnered up with Texas's premier Texas and Beyond's premier merch company, CH Lone Star Promo. They're going to be helping us out with merchandise. We're going to have all kinds of new stuff, specifically a brand new T-shirt for Texas Toast that you will only be able to buy at our March 16th show, which is pretty exciting. Just another reason to go to dosidotickets.com and grab some tickets for our birthday show. If you want to do that, you just head over to dosidotickets.com, scroll down, find March 16th, and the tickets are right there. It's general admission. It's very limited tickets, so don't miss your opportunity to get in on that. Otherwise, you can expect an awesome brand new merch store from us at Texas Toast very soon.
I'm so excited about that because I know when
Yeah.
we just I have we've done koozies here or there and in the ball caps and
Mhm.
everybody just loved them. I still have people asking me for stickers and
Yep.
asking me for stuff. So we're finally going to be able to provide that. So good stuff coming up. I've been spending
Absolutely.
a, I've been spending a lot of time on the road. I've been having to go to appointments. So I have something to ask. Now, Kyle, you may get this and may not get it, but you know, for so long, like on our like farm market roads or like our little state highways that are like 2 lane, like people that like to drive really, really slow, like usually would get over to the right and let you by.
Hmm.
Nobody does that anymore.
It depends how old they are.
No, I mean, it's like, what is, I don't know.
If
I don't
it's,
know if it's because they have those rumble type, that noise, for
yeah.
people that go to sleep at night or, that warns them or tries to wake them up. I don't know if it's that noise. They don't want to get into it. But like, I have been really doing a lot of driving and I'm like, wait, what happened to when people used to get over for you?
I mean, I think that is just kind of like a country etiquette thing that's gotten lost through the years because I for sure
Yes.
learned to do that. I mean, I'm not like an aggressive driver, but I'm generally driving at least the speed limit or maybe
Mhm.
slightly over. But like I said, it kind of depends on how old you are. Because if I'm out in like our stomping ground, Sealy, Belleville area, I still see that all the time. But it's usually an older gentleman in his 90s Ford pickup, not necessarily
Yeah.
somebody in their Tesla doing that.
Yeah, not even. So
It needs
anyway,
to
I
come
don't know.
back.
That's just I know it really does. I just been on the road a lot. And as a result, listening to a lot of music. And then I'm just
Mhm.
like, I'm patient. I'm not that kind of person. It's like, I'm not going to get in a hurry. I leave way ahead of time. So I'm not late. I'm one of those, I'm going to be ahead of time and not late. So it's no big deal. But I just wanted to throw that out there and see if anybody else has noticed that nobody gets over to the right of the shoulder, at least down our
Yeah.
way.
Yep. Yep. I don't know, man. It's times are changing. Hopefully it comes and goes with the wind, kind of like it seems like everything else does. And at least in the music industry, everything kind of comes in waves and or maybe
Hmm.
more like a cycle. So hopefully that etiquette kind of starts to show itself back here in the
Yes, some
next
etiquette
year or
would
so.
be very nice. Etiquette would be very nice.
Yep.
Aw.
Oh man. Okay. Well, it's been crazy times in Texas country lately, and as you can see, we're trying some new things. We're changing it up here a bit, and hopefully you guys enjoy all the new stuff we're bringing you. I guess highlights to note: Hayden Baker was our guest last week. We've talked about that a ton, but go check out that episode if you haven't. Next week we've got an awesome up and coming kind of rising star artist in Texas country named Amanda Kate Ferris, who you've probably heard of already, joining us on the show. That one's awesome. We kind of dive into like what it's like to be a single parent on the road or working in the music industry and many other things. I didn't realize who her mother was, so that was
I
awesome.
know. She has a
Um,
great story.
yeah, I mean it was just fascinating conversation
A
all
very,
around.
I would say a very touching story. I mean, one of the best mom daughter stories I've heard in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to check that one out. We've got artists like Tim Lightyear coming up, and then we've got some actually kind of bottoms up stuff coming down the pipe as well. It's been
Mm.
a while since we've done any of that, but we've got a booking agent coming on in a couple weeks to kind of walk you through what that is. Because a lot of people have been asking, like, how do you know when's the right time to have a booking agent, or how do I find the right booking agent, things like that. So you can expect all kinds of cool stuff from us continuing down the road. If you've got songs coming out, if you've got shows coming up, anything like that that you want to get our attention on, or you want us to help spread the word, just shoot us a DM on Instagram, like always. Like, share, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. We love you guys. I think that's all the news and business that I've got for you this week.
That's all I got. We're good. I'm going
Uh,
fishing.
all right, go fishing. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.